any reason to get an abortion are all wrong reasons, right? We're talking about murdering a child.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
There's no wrong reason to get an abortion.
So I'll just center the conversation around the very fact that, you know, we're a group of 8 men. The optics of 8 men in a room talking about when women do and don't deserve to get an abortion it's a bad look. So for me, from a personal standpoint, you know, I have a girlfriend. There might be some reasons.
See, I don't understand why that's a bad look. You can talk about abortion. You can talk about certain issues. I mean, we're talking about, okay, let's see what these people talk about in terms of abortion.
On a personal level, where her and I having that conversation together, I might say, oh, I think we should do this, I think we should do that. On a legislative level, I don't feel confident enough to legislate when someone is and isn't allowed to get health care. Because that's what abortion is, it's health care.
Yeah.
No, it's not healthcare. It's murder. Abortion is not healthcare.
One of the paramount ideologies of, I guess, being a quote unquote male feminist is just the ability to mind your own business. Right. Just to be able to say that this is the wrong reason to have an abortion, you're already headed down the wrong path. Yeah.
So being an anti-feminist, I look at this and I say, well, I am more religious as well.
As am I.
So I want to say like I'm more like pro-life, right? But if a woman decides that they want to not give birth, it doesn't matter the reason, you know, maybe she's not wealthy enough, maybe, you know, the father left her, you know, there's so many reasons. And then I also look at like just gun violence and how we're like birthing kids and we raise them and send it to school knowing that it can get killed. I don't know, I would feel like
it's like not it's not the best world to be raised.
Well, see, this is what's wrong with these people, right? This is where the anti-feminist argument kind of falls apart. Like, so first of all, I don't know what an anti-feminist is. I have no idea what these people are talking about, but the stance on abortion, you say, oh, you're pro-life, but then you say there are certain exceptions where abortions should be allowed, or what was the question? There's no wrong reason to get an abortion. See, the thing is, from where I stand, right, any reason to get an abortion are all wrong reasons, right? We're talking about murdering a child. Now, whenever we talk about this stuff, people bring up the exceptions. They'll talk about, oh, what about a woman who's been raped? Well, do you think because the woman has been raped, does that mean a child needs to get murdered? Is that how how does the justification work? I don't quite understand it.
Exactly.
I think a patriarchal element, even in your answer, not to combat or what have you, the idea of trying to cycle through the reasons why and going, yeah, I guess those make sense, is still, in my opinion, patriarchal.
Even though I would...
Yeah, that's total nonsense, right? Because here's the thing, there can never be, as an anti-feminist, if you know, whatever that means, right? If you're going to claim to be an anti-feminist, from where I stand, it seems like there should be no reason to get an abortion because abortion is child murder. And whether it be rape or anything else, it just seems to me like there's no reason to kill a child. Let's say, is rape wrong? Of course it is. Should the rapist be punished? Of course he should. But what has an innocent child done in this situation to be murdered, right? That's something we need to consider. And one of the things, one exception I do draw in terms of abortion is where it is actually healthcare, where it becomes a life risk to the woman. I'd say that's where I stand in terms of, okay, it should be allowed to get an abortion.
On the feminist side on that topic, it feels like I was put in a position where I was framed as wrong. It felt like you aren't allowed to have this opinion on this topic because you're not a woman. And I think that's kind of bullshit, to be honest.
That's the other thing. That's it's weird that this comes as a surprise to Clover or whatever, right? Because you see, that is the point of the left, right? Your argument is bullshit if you don't agree with them, and that has always been the point of leftists and feminists.
Off the top of my head, I know that was mentioned earlier that abortion is healthcare, and I first want to push back on that. Abortion is not healthcare.
It's not healthcare.
Healthcare preserves life, it protects it. It doesn't take it away, it doesn't eliminate it.
What about the woman's life?
But when you exterminate a child, that is doing harm.
Oh, but it's
That
not
is
always a
healthcare.
child, right? So it's a discussion when it becomes a child or not. That's not a gray area. That's not.
No, it's not a discussion, because you see, when these people are going to probably bring in the clump of cells argument, oh, it's not human yet, right? And then these people will go on to want to protect pandas and dolphins. Those aren't human, right? So what we're saying when we talk about murdering a life is that when the life is in there, when it's already conceived, it has the potential to become a human being, and that should be enough. That should be enough for you not to exterminate a human life.
It is actually scientifically proven. It is a separate strain of DNA at conception. If you ask any doctor,
But if you took that clump of cells out, would it survive?
it's not a clump of cells. That's why.
Clump of cells, ladies and gentlemen. So these people often talk about, if we just said it, like, if you took that clump of cells out, would it survive on its own? I don't know. Should we start killing people in the old age homes? People who can't survive on their own? Should we kill someone who's in a coma? Someone who can't survive on its own? These arguments are ridiculous.
You call it a termination. Scientifically, it is a life at birth, and scientifically,
birth.
it is at
you just hear?
conception. At conception,
sorry.
It is a
scientific.
life, but it is not a human.
So look, though, the thing is, so when you say it's about protecting life, abortions are protecting lives of thousands of women who maybe are not able to
at
have...
the expense of another life.
But you're already prioritizing that other life over the woman who's carrying that life.
Because of patriarchy, too.
Because of
That's
patriarchy.
why you're doing it.
Because of
Because we've
patriarchy,
already
you're
devalued
basically
women.
saying that
So what if we're
these
aborting a
cells
female
are more
baby?
important than the woman.
I think it's absolutely shameful how flippantly our society has begun to treat the topic of abortion. You are literally exterminating an unborn child.
To
That
protect
is
the
wrong.
life of
That is
another
wrong.
woman.
Then don't have sex without protection.
Really?
Exactly, right? So this is one of the arguments that people often miss. Oftentimes when it comes to abortion, you'll hear things about, how you shouldn't force women to have children. Nobody forced you to have unprotected sex. Like, the decision, it is the woman's decision to have a child, right? So we all, we'll often talk about this topic and pretend like, these rights are being taken away from. No, the right of the woman to decide whether she wants to have a child or not was made. The decision, she had the right to make the decision when she went to bed to have unprotected sex. There are like a million forms of protection right now, right? So when you say, a woman is being forced to have a child, that's just not true, because the decision to have a child is not made at conception, after conception. It's made during the act.
You don't
Then
have
get
sex without
contraception.
protection. You don't have sex without
Well, I
protection.
don't have a baby. I don't have a
Right? Tell them
baby.
what they can do.
Stop
Yeah.
absolving women and men
Yeah.
of responsibility and treating grown ass people like they are children.
Again,
Absolutely.
we're not emphasizing any of those things.
I just
We're going straight to women and making it their problem.
Well, it's a man's problem.
Well, it is their problem. I mean, we've presented this as women's rights, right? Their body, their rights. I thought that's what we were talking about.
As well, because if a man gets a woman pregnant, that is his child as well. So one of the things that's really important, what abortion does, is it puts all of reproductive rights in the hands of women when it takes both parties. She cannot have a child without a man. Abortion normalizes women making bad choices. We've kind of given a free pass for people to be a lot more carefree about who they sleep with and not really think twice about the ramifications that.
Yeah, because this is what Western society has become, right? The sexual revolution, kind of, which is part of the feminist movement, made women in the West think that sexualization and being promiscuous online and offline is somehow empowering, right? They've been told that this is empowering and they bought into it, right? So one of the things is that it's not just about women, right? It also, as I think somebody mentioned it already, like it's also about men and women. I don't know. I think the modern generation just doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. Like these people don't believe that choices have consequences. I think that's a concept we've lost over time.
May come of it.
But again, we're also
Murder an
once
innocent
again
child.
we're zooming in on a high level on the end result. We're not talking about the systemic issues that cause women to have abortions.
Oh,
Hold on.
Oh, the systemic issues. So one of the things the leftists usually will do is put you in a word salad. Well, they'll start talking about systemic issues, the patriarchy, and use incoherent words, which if you ask them by definition, they really don't mean anything, but they'll pretend like it does. So to kind of put you in an argument loop, we'll see.
We're not talking about the lack of resources that make people feel like they cannot sustain a pregnancy or sustain a life.
Right.
And those are things that are caused by the way men have set up society. So instead, hold on. So instead of talking about the actual issues from the top,
The lack of systemic resources. Contraceptives were invented by men.